Right, so previous video I did the world rankings according to BoxRec, the unbiased BoxRec. They do it on a point system, so that's pretty much where you see the real rankings, I suppose you could say. Now here, I thought that I'll do the WBC, and for those of you who haven't seen the previous video, you need to check that out after this one, or stop this one, go check that one out and come back here to see what it is that I'm talking about when we compare it. Because the WBC, the rankings they're not terrible, but they're not that great either when you look on it on the world stage for literally all fighters, obviously with the exception of Anthony Joshua. He can't be ranked with the WBC because he's a champion of other sanctioning bodies. So obviously Deontay Wilder is still the champion. He got gifted a draw against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury should be the WBC heavyweight world champion. I think that's a fact that most people look at and say, yeah, that is absolutely true. So Wilder was gifted a draw, and Tyson Fury was not gifted a draw. In fact, it was pretty much a damn loss is what's happened just by giving him a draw, which is absolutely ridiculous. Dillian Whyte, the WBC silver champion, he keeps his position as number one. Obviously, he's fighting this weekend against Derek Chisora. All going well there. He'll maintain his position as number one, but being number one is not, and it's weird, I know, but it is not the mandatory. Mandatory is, of course, Dominic Breazeale, who's in at number 4. So Luis Ortiz keeps his position as number 2. He lost to Deontay Wilder, and then he has 2 wins over Razvan Kajanu and Travis Kaufman since. So he's in at number 2. Tyson Fury, I said, number 3, and Dominic Breazeale, the mandatory, number 4. Number 5, Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker had a win this past weekend over Alexander Flores. So he's been moved up to number 5 in the WBC. Number 6, Ajit Kabiel. On the world rankings, he's ranked quite low, to be honest. He's a European heavyweight champion, but inactivity, all that kind of thing, has cost him rankings across the world. But the WBC don't seem to mind that, and they have him in at number 6. Number 7, Alexander Povetkin. He's back on the WBC rankings because he was set to fight Anthony Joshua. The WBC actually removed him from the rankings, even though he was number 2 at one point. But obviously now he's lost to Anthony Joshua. They've reinstated him within the WBC, and he's in at number 7. Number 8, Adam Kownacki. Again, he kind of holds his position within the world rankings as well. So that's a fair point, that one, number 8. Number 9, Derek Chisora. Now, Derek Chisora is number 11 in the world rankings, so again, can't complain too much about that one. Although they keep spelling his name CK at the end. It was that, but now he's changed it for whatever reason. There's no C in his first name. Not that it's really that important, I suppose. But obviously, depending on how he gets on the weekend, will be determined how his rankings look within the WBC after this one. Number 10, Hughie Fury. So in his last 3 fights, Joseph Parker, he lost. Then he beat Sam Sexton for the British heavyweight title. Then he lost the IBF mandatory against Kubrat Pulev. But somehow he's managed to be promoted to number 10 within the WBC. I don't quite know how that works out, but either way, it's a Brit on the rankings. My bias side says yay, but reality is, what the hell. Number 11, Charles Martin. Now he's ranked number 15 in the world. Can't say I necessarily agree with that, but Charles Martin is better than what most people give him credit for. If you go watch his last fight with Adam Kownacki, and you'll see exactly what it is that I mean. But he's number 11 in the WBC. Number 12, Carlos Takam. He's lost his last 2 fights. If he's had another fight around since then, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but he lost to Anthony Joshua, then lost to Derek Chisora. But yeah, somehow he's at number 12. But in the world rankings, he's ranked all the way down, isn't it, like number 30 or something? I'm going on memory here. Number 13, Bryant Jennings. Again, he's there or thereabouts within the world rankings as well, so I can't complain too much about that one. And he will be taking on number 14, Oscar Rivas, within the next couple of weeks. So that'll be an interesting one, and that will certainly move around the WBC rankings a little bit. And number 15, Sergey Kuzmin. A lot of you guys will know that he defeated David Price. He's had another fight since, which he also won. So he's made it into the top 15. So as you can see, for those of you who's watched the previous video, the rankings are similar in some ways, but in other ways, miles and miles apart. For example, Big Baby Jarrell Miller ranked number 5 in the world. But yeah, on the WBC, not even there. So again, anybody who's asking why, it's because he's not registered with the WBC clean boxing program. So he can't be ranked. So in other words, you have to be part of BADA to be ranked by the WBC. But there are other fighters here, there or thereabouts who's not on the WBC list. For me, that potentially could be, or maybe should be. For me, I think Tom Schwartz should be there or thereabouts as well. But I mean, if you go across to the other sanctioned bodies, again, you'll see it's totally different. So I'd love to know how the WBC exactly work out their rankings, and all of them, to be perfectly honest, because I know the whole lot of them just don't seem to coincide with each other. It is proper strange, no doubt about it. But anyway, and as you can also see as well on the WBC, no Kubrat Pulev. Yeah, he's ranked number 8 in the world. Again, don't quite know how that works out. So that is what it is. You drop your thoughts below on this, on the WBC. Do you think it's a pretty real list? Obviously, a lot of you guys will be looking at it saying, but Tyson Fury should be the champion. I agree, he should be. But facts are, he's not. They gifted Wilder a decision draw, so he gets to keep his title by default. Anyway, that is what it is. Drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.